What's up, Dan Blewett here, and you're about to watch one of the main analysis videos from my softball throwing course called She's Got a Cannon. So in this video, we're going to compare a couple high-level softball throwers, and we're going to point out some of their throwing flaws and show you how you can easily identify these in your daughter or the players on your team, okay? I hope you enjoy the video. I hope it's very informative and gives you a little more clarity on how you can identify these flaws, because they really do stick out once you know what you're going to look for in your everyday practices, on the field, at your games. All right, so we're going to go through the rear view just for a handful of different throwing flaws. So we don't need to get too many. There's going to be a couple that will be best illustrated from this view here. Okay, so the first one, we're going to go all the way to arm action. So number 4. Okay, so as the hands break, they're going to go down. So you see how hand breaks down, and then the elbow is going to pull back. So you see it just zoomed in a little bit. The elbow is going to get back a little bit behind her body, and then flip up, and then go. Then we're going to go to Emma here. So she folds over a little bit. You don't need to do that. If you stay tall after fielding that ground ball, obviously after fielding a ground ball, there's going to be a gradual, period of time where you're going from hunched over in fielding position to up. And we want to get pretty tall, like right to here. But there's going to be a gradual period for everyone. So she stays hunched a little longer. And then, again, watch her hands break right here. So again, this is number 4, arm action. Her hand breaks down. The glove breaks down, then starts to move forward. The elbow pulls back, right? So she's hunched over, but you can see the elbow is not really going up as much as it's going towards her back. Her shoulder blades are pinching, pulling back. So now when she rights herself, see how she's standing tall here? Her elbow is not above her head. It's still in line with her shoulders, but her shoulder blades have pinched together. So right here, this is important. See how her elbows are sort of pinched? That's really, really key. So part of the arm action, the hands go down, the shoulders pull back, and then once the foot hits, the hips start to rotate, the arm goes back, and then it goes forward. And then the ball's on its way, okay? So that's number 4, arm action. If you don't see, so let me define the flaw here. If you don't see the hands break down, like so, with the palm on top of the ball. So the palm goes down, and the top of the hands on top of the ball. If you don't see the hand break like that with a palm down and then the elbow start to pull back, that's what we're looking for. And again, look at my individual videos for each flaw for more explanation. I can demonstrate what you're looking for. That's the arm action. So let's jump ahead now to 10B, elbow shoulder line. So this is the same sort of thing. So once that foot hits, the elbow shoulder line we're looking for was from the side. The shoulders are level with both arms. So the front arm is up, and the other arm is the throwing arm is level here. But the other elbow shoulder line thing we're looking for, we don't want to land with the elbow like this, where the elbow is in front of our body, or even with the center of our body. The elbow should be pulled back behind the body a little bit. So you can see her shoulder blades are pulled back and her elbow is a little bit behind her body. That's the shoulder line that I'm talking about. So level with the shoulders, and then the elbow is actually pulled back, retracted, pinched, whatever you want to call it, behind the body a little bit. That's important because then the elbow sort of hitches up with the upper body as it rotates and starts to come through. So let's look at some other examples. So she's an example. See how her elbow stays in front? It's kind of like level with her body. It's even with it, but it doesn't pull back. It's just sort of climbs up, and that's a common flaw. So we want her elbow actually to pull back from here. So as she breaks her hands, and again, we've worked on this with her, as her hands go down right here, this elbow should be pulling this way instead of rising. We don't want it to rise. We want the hand to go down and then the elbow to go this direction. So hand down and the elbow pull, but you can see hers rises. She's a softball pitcher. So it's a common problem that the two motions mix together a little bit, and that's what's sort of happening here. So we worked on with her breaking her hands down, so palms down, and then the elbows pinching back, and that actually has done a tremendous job with her. So she's again, check out the webinar that shows us giving her just a couple coaching cues from this course, and then the immediate changes that you'll see in her throwing motion, because she's already an exceptionally hard thrower and a super hard worker. She's going to be a great player one day. But she, again, we want to see this arm not rise, but the elbow go back this way and pinch. So that's 10B, elbow shoulder line. If you don't see it go back when the foot hits, if you don't see it back behind the body a little bit when the stride foot hits, then we're going to call that a flaw. And it should be still, again, level with the shoulders. Her elbow's above her shoulders. So she needs to work on that. That's a flaw for her. Okay. The next thing, so you see from behind, let's look at arm timing and hand direction. So let's look at arm timing here. So I like to use clocks. I think they're a good analogy for throwing because there's so much rotational stuff. If we had a clock here where this is 12 and this is 3 from this view, when that stride foot hits right here, when that stride foot hits, the throwing arm should be somewhere around 9 to 10, somewhere there. Maybe a little bit below 9, maybe a little bit above 10, but somewhere in general between 9 and 10. That seems to be the normal zone of all high-level throwers in the major leagues of baseball or in softball. We're here to here. It's a common myth. You don't want to be to this position, like the common L position, like you do the L drill. It's not a great drill because we're teaching the wrong thing. When you watch high-level throwers, they don't land like this. This comes later. She doesn't land like this. When her foot hits, her hand is right here. It's level. Now as her hips start to rotate, it drives her arm farther and faster back. And again, she throws around 70 miles per hour overhand. That's extremely hard. You will not see. She's the hardest thrower to ever come through my academy. And she's the second hardest thrower at another extremely reputable softball academy in the area, where in their like 10 years of operation, she's the second hardest thrower and she's only 15 years old. So again, this is a very rare player you're watching right here and demonstrating for us. So again, here to here. And again, doesn't mean she does everything right because she doesn't have perfect mechanics, but she does the big checkpoints really, really well. Okay. So arm timing, if you're not here to here, when that stride foot lands, when it just contacts, then that's a flaw. We need to work on fixing that. Just go through our flow. I got the drills and we'll take care of it. The next thing, hand direction. So you can see that old adage, like point the ball to center field. She does not point the ball to center field. She points it sideways. So the direction her chest is when she lands, which should be, again, sideways or slightly angled back, that's where her hand is facing. It's facing sideways, not towards us, because we would be the center field view here, okay? So that's number 12, hand direction. The next thing, let's look at forearm acceleration a little bit from behind. So this is number 17. So as she starts to rotate, we talked about first acceleration movement, which is flaw 16, and forearm acceleration. You can see as she starts to rotate, her right hip and her chest, or the center of her body, is moving towards the target. Her glove arm is moving to the side. It's folding down to help rotate and allow her hips to rotate through. But she's not spinning in place, right? She's moving the right side of her body, her hip and her center, towards her target. And then as her arm lays back, yeah, it's going to go out a little bit to match her arm angle, which is about 3/4. But you'll see her force is being applied behind and then forward through the ball. She's not getting around it. The last little oomph is here and then boom, forward through it. I see tons and tons of girls come through where their arm shoots from here all the way over here and they get around the ball, applying slider-like spin as if they were a baseball pitcher throwing a slider. So we want to go back to front. So she does a pretty good job with that. Okay, so that is actually it. That's it for the rear view. There's not too many that we cover from back here, but the ones that we do are very, very critical to understand. So again, handbrake, elbow shoulder line, arm timing, right? So when you land, hand direction, forearm acceleration, all very important aspects of a good, powerful softball throwing motion. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. We can identify different flaws with different camera angles. So this was just one of the 4 that you'll use in the course. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of a taste. And obviously, if you identify any of these in real life, you can make the adjustments on your own today with some of the drills that you'll find on this YouTube channel. So I hope today's lecture was really informative, that you learned something that you can hopefully go out and take with you into your practice or on the field to get better today. And if you're interested in learning more about the course, you'll find links in the description of the video below.